Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
1.
You may have seen the program on TV with the fishers from Alaska. This dangerous job is not a joke. They have to be able to work up to 24 hours a day, scrub ice off the boat, heavy lifting, and be aware of gigantic waves that could wipe any man off the boat. If you ask an old fisherman if he have been in any dangerous situations where he luckily stayed alive, he would probably say yes.
2.
The death pace of being an astronaut is around 7%. Realizing that you have a 7% possibility of kicking the bucket, makes you reconsider prior to picking this calling. A great deal could turn out badly when you're going to take off in a rocket. One very minuscule mix-up could make the rocket detonate, the oxygen could break, or you could straightforward be stuck in the space for eternity.
3.
You may believe it's simply the sharp saw that can be perilous. No, in fact the vast majority of individuals kicking the bucket in this calling is because of an impractical notion of where the tree will land and gets squashed simultaneously.
4.
A coal digger needs to work for on normal 12 hours of the day in exceptionally perilous circumstances. The space is very restricted, you can scarcely see anything, and you may have issues breathing because of the thick coal dust. Taking in this residue can be lethal alone, and you must know that the mine hundreds of meters above you could unexpectedly implode. In case you are fortunate, you kick the bucket immediately. If not, you could be caught and bite the dust gradually of starvation.
5.
A modest correspondent compelled to go into the center of a perilous combat area just to get the most ideal chances. Wearing a press logo on the chest in expectation that he will not get shot in the activity, is everything he can do.
6.
50 volts alone could slaughter a human. The dangerous electrical cable can convey up to 800,000 volts and could murder a great many individuals. Envision scaling 50 meters and need to remember two things. 1. Try not to fall. 2. Try not to do an off-base switch. Both of these slip ups could take your life surprisingly fast.
7.
Oil riggers need to work as long as 16 hours per day on seaward oil stages. They must know about continually moving machines that could pulverize their body by one slip up, and they must be at the post for huge waves that could without much of a stretch suffocate them. Remember something more: oil. Oil is amazingly touchy. In 2010, in the inlet of Mexico, 11 laborers passed on because of an oil rig blast.
8.
In 2011 in Japan, an atomic emergency happened, causing a gigantic arrival of radioactive material. The dynamic reactors must be dealt with, yet the nearer to this reactor you were, the higher was the stake. The radioactive material was poisonous to the point that it was recommended for the populace to be somewhere far off. These specialists must be in actual contact with it to close it down. A considerable lot of them passed on. Hazardous occupation without a doubt.
9.
A jail gatekeeper can be a task that could cost your life in case you're not 100% centered. In greatest security jails, for example, Kildani Jail in Georgia, where the most perilous crooks are to be discovered, a safety officer ought to never be distant from everyone else. Large numbers of these detainees are as of now serving lifetime, so in their eyes, they don't have a lot to lose. This is one reason why assault and prisoner beating is a particularly regular thing in detainment facilities. The safety officers are essentially excessively hesitant to interfere.
10.
This work is exceptionally perilous in light of two things: extremely significant distance voyaging and risky streets. Some of them are small steep streets found on mountains that are not made for trucks, yet transporters are as yet compelled to drive on them. Like Trollstigen, Norway. Others are frigid and dangerous, like the street James Dalton Highway, Alaska, and the transporters can just cross their fingers that the substantial
Subscribe
truck will
now
not forward leap.
and press the bell
More
icon.
than 700
Never miss an
transporters
update.
lost their life in 2014.